Hello, my name is Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel, and it's our allotment open day tomorrow, and so everything is looking spick and span. Well, at least the spickest and spannest that it has looked this year so far. So I thought I would give you a little bit of a tour around and you can see what's up. So here we are at my plot. Please feel free to come and look around. So I've got a little bit of a display about compost in here. Got some raw compost, and then I've got some 6-month-old compost here, and some 8-month-old compost, and this is looking pretty nice. And I guess that's the raw ingredients there as well. I've got all my compost bins all full. Everything's quite well packed on the entrance to the polytunnel. You've got peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers and my late season courgettes, which will be moving into the polytunnel soon. I've put a windsock up there on the door so I know what the wind direction is, and that helps me to figure out when to open and close the doors and by how much. So here is the polytunnel where all the action is. So I'm pretty pleased to have found this cucumber stalk that was kind of threaded somewhere around on the floor. So I've hung it up and it's got loads of cucumbers on it, so I'm really happy because some of the other stems have started to finish now. Not really got any flowers on them, but this one is still doing really nicely. So it's got quite a nice little crop on there. I was about to pull that cucumber out and replace it with this one, but I decided to give it a reprieve for a little while. I've got my sweet corn in here, which hopefully will give me a crop towards the end of September, and it'll stay in the polytunnel now. And some gorgeous chilies coming on here. My Malabar spinach is really taking off now, so that's really nice, and I've been eating these leaves in salad and I really like them. Some more chilies here, and some whopping great tomatoes there, absolutely colossal. And basically the tomatoes are doing very nicely. We're cropping them as fast as we can, but there's a huge crop on here. And cucumbers, we still can't eat as many as we're growing. We have left that one maybe a little bit too long, but then we have got so many and it still looks lovely, but that is quite a giant. Trumpettinos still giving us some lovely fruits, and we've got 2 really big ones on here, and I think we'll probably call it a day with this plant once we've harvested those, because not really any flowers left on there. Plenty of flowers on the cucumbers though. So yeah, more tomatoes here, celery. These are my autumn runner beans, and they've just got to the top, so I should be pinching those out soon and letting them thicken up. So I'm really pleased with those. I like runner beans, so I want to keep the harvest going as long as possible. And some more lovely peppers here, and some, I can't remember what they're called now, gherkins. Maybe these have been left to grow a little bit too big, but Debbie's just been sampling her pickled gherkins that were picked at that size, and they are delicious apparently, so maybe not. More peppers outside. Actually, these little brown ones, I don't know really why they're brown rather than red, but I ate one today and it was really nice, so it doesn't seem to matter that they're not red. Tastes nice enough. Right, what have we got? One of our late season courgettes in here, and our late season tomatoes, baby carrots for salad mixes, late season golden purslane for salad mixes, celery for salad mixes, more carrots for salad mixes, and late season French beans at the end. So that is pretty much everything in the polytunnel that's in the beds, and I've got quite a lot started here for autumn, and I'm just about to start my winter planting, although a few of these things are for winter, but I'm doing a separate video on what I'm growing, so I shall save that for later. And we've done a little presentation here. So first slide talks about the 3 plots that we've got: my plot, year-round fresh produce; Jennie's plot, fruit and veg for winter storage and all the brassicas; and Debbie's plot, which is the ornamental kitchen garden and orchard. And of course we do have the kitchen garden at home, but I've not included that. And then a little bit about how we've designed our allotments, what's important to the approach that we've taken, a bit about our approach to self-sufficiency, a bit about how important it is when you're eating all the food from the allotment to make sure that the soil that you're growing in is very nutritious and is full of all the essential minerals. A little bit about how much we've harvested. We harvest into all of these containers. Actually, you can see the containers all piled up there. By the end of the year, I should have harvested about 3,000 of those containers. A little bit about the allotment finances, going to do a separate video about that, and then just some pictures of the spring harvest, the summer harvest, the autumn harvest, and the winter harvest. And obviously that's not everything we harvested, but that's just a nice sample of the sorts of things that we grow. So let's take a look at the outside areas. So still on my plot, let's have a quick skim around the beds and see what's growing. So we've got carrots for winter, golden beetroot, which are doing very nicely, cylindra red beetroot, they're okay. We've got the first few of the spring onions there, and then all down here are red cabbages, and then all down there are the early strawberries, and so they'll stay out here until probably February time, and then they'll move into the polytunnel. Loads of raspberries now, it's really nice. Gooseberries are finished, of course. So then I've got some radicchio, which will grow to hearts, and they'll be under fleece. I've got some chicory, which I use in smoothies and the salad mixes, and these will all be under cloche in sort of October time probably, and also all of the chard will be under cloche, so we'll have a cover on here. There's all my Christmas potatoes, got a few more to plant, a few extra brassicas going in here, lots of sprouts and kale, and a few cabbages. Nearly picked all the cabbages now, got a couple in the fridge, got a couple in the ground. All these beds of beetroot, pretty much, apart from just a few spring onions which are not doing too well. Last of the calabrese for a week or so. That is a massive head, that one, really lovely. Just sort of left that one for the open day. Picked all the others, and the rest are all on Jennie's plot, and they're growing nicely, but they're not quite there. Oh, actually, we forgot, we've got another little head there, so this one will do us for a week, and then we'll switch over to that one the following week. More beetroot here. A little growing room is doing nicely. Not growing room, drying room is doing nicely, with all of the shallots and onions in it, and all the seedlings will be moving in here soon. Everything is dry in here, so that will all be moving home to our store. carrots in here, started picking those, very nice. And leeks in there as well. The sweet potatoes, they're underneath that little hoop tunnel, just to give them a little bit of extra warmth because it's been a bit chilly today. And my catch crop of tomatoes in here is really starting to deliver, so I'm pleased that I just popped those in. Asparagus here, and salad beds interplanted with baby leeks. Not too bad. Always hard to keep the salad crops going at this time of year, I find, because I'm just transitioning over the beds over to the autumn planting, and so I don't want too much salad in the ground right now because I'm switching over. But so I'm always kind of right on the verge of running out of salad. As maybe seen on some of the previous videos, I've started to chop the leaves off some of the beetroot beds. Makes it easier to pick them, stalls the growth so they don't grow too big, and some of them had rust on the leaves as well, so that's helped. But salad beds are not looking too bad, but they're pretty heavily picked, and obviously I've just planted that one. I've got another active bed there as well, another bed ready for planting, and another bed that should be ready in a couple of weeks' time. Spring onions here, another active salad bed that's looking a bit worse for wear, some more golden beetroot, New Zealand spinach, red beetroot that we're currently picking, carrot bed, golden purslane, and some runner beans, which are not doing great, to be honest. They're suffering. Maybe not that fantastic an idea to plant them after the peas, probably a little bit too late for them, but we do have a lovely cucumber plant in the middle of that, which is doing splendidly. So let's go and have a quick look at Debbie's plot. Debbie's plot is looking splendid as always, and this is where we're getting our runner beans from at the moment. And Debbie's busy clearing up, but the orchard area is looking really great. All the trees are laden with apples, and Debbie's doing a great job training everything into fancy shapes. Sweet corn's coming on. We've got stacks of sweet corn on Jennie's plot now. The rhubarb is really doing nicely now. It was struggling a little bit at one point. So we've got some gourds here which are doing well. Blackcurrants are almost finished, but not to worry because the apples and the pears are coming on beautifully. What else have we got on here? Oh, a nice harvest of bindweed there. Last few broad beans for a while at least. And some gorgeous kale, lovely colettes. Actually, this kale is absolutely fabulous, and the colette leaves, oh, I had some tonight for my tea, really beautiful. And this is our main source of runner beans right now. Again, can't keep up with it, even with all the people that we feed. Too many runner beans. A bit more New Zealand spinach, herb bed, more colettes, doing very nicely, more sweet corn, and more kale. A little bit tough, the red kale, by comparison with that lovely green kale. Let's go take a quick look at Jennie's plot. So this is Jennie's plot, and we are celebrating on this plot 70 years of the NHS. Debbie's plot celebrating the suffragette movement. So apples are great. We've just started eating these, and yeah, they're lovely. We've cooked with them as well, and that's worked a treat. Catch crop of squashes is also delivering loads now of these little baby butternut squashes. Absolutely stacks of them. Yep, tomatoes are coming on. Maybe not quite as healthy, but more apples, of course. And yet more apples. Really good. I popped some Sapamira in these pots just to see how they went, and we've been harvesting them because we've finished all of our early potatoes now, and these are lovely actually. They're a good size and very tasty. These are a main Sapamira crop in here, and I've just popped a few fence pins in, as you can probably see here, just to keep them off the path, because we'll have lots of people walking around here tomorrow. And we've also got the broad beans. Well, these are growing very nicely. They've about twice the size they were when I planted them last week, and so they probably need tying into those stakes pretty soon. Rhubarb here is also doing pretty well, and leeks are not too bad, but I think I've had one or two of those go to seed, but in this weather who can blame them. I've pulled out all of the sprouts that I planted in here, so this was my last hope. Well, not quite my last hope, because I've got a few more scattered around for sprouts, but cabbage root fly got them all. So I never actually found a cabbage root fly larva anywhere, but there were no roots, they'd all been eaten. So these are the Sapo Kifi down here. We're not harvested those yet, not quite ready. This is the summer broccoli, pretty much finished. All of that is colettes, which are looking great. Bit of kale, lots of whitefly on that, so I've been dealing with that. This is my summer planted kale, so this is Red Russian and Carvalho Nero, and that's all looking pretty good. And a bit more kale, more colettes, a bit more Carvalho Nero in here, and a bit more summer broccoli, and then we are on to the squashes. We are getting through these Crown Prince. I think we've had 3 off already, and we've got about 7 or 8 left on here, so they're doing pretty well. We've been going through these sweet corn at quite a rate as well, and there was some debate about whether sweet corn at this density would pollinate well. Well, it has pollinated extremely well. In fact, everybody who's had a sweet corn from here has declared it the best sweet corn they've ever tasted, bar none. And so it's done really well. Now, there has been some debate about this phenomena, and one of my very kind viewers has done some investigation, and he thinks it's maybe to do with some GM contamination in the seed corn, but I am not convinced about that, just because I have other plants grown from the same seed, and they have not done this, but they have been watered more than this batch here. So I think it's just water stress that has caused these to blow in this way, and it's only some of the secondary shoots. So all the main cobs, corn cobs, have been just great, but just a few of the secondary shoots have done this and blown, so not to worry. We have actually got a butternut squash finally. So I'm not sure how many we've got, but we've got 4 plants in here, and I think I've only seen 1 fruit. I'm not sure whether I've got any more. That said, we've got a really nice crop of the curry, so it's not so bad. And good old courgettes and the French beans still giving us a lovely crop. And so here we've got a little picnic area, and this is going to look really nice because we've got a shade sail that's going to be out here covering this whole area, and we're cooking in the shed, and the shed looks really nice. Debbie's done a lovely job inside. So I think with that, I should probably just talk a little bit about what's under these nets. Lots and lots of broccoli for spring. So there's a few different types of broccoli in there. Should give us a harvest from March through to May. Loads of calabrese in there as well. So it's all pretty exciting. Looking forward to that. It's going to be a good autumn. In fact, it's going to be an amazing autumn and a pretty good winter as well. So there we go. That, I think, concludes today's tour. And I'll see you soon. Hope you enjoyed it.